Okay, a week has passed already, and this is the last hay field. We won't have to deal with it until next year. And it's been a week of breakdowns and work, but nothing that can't be fixed right away, I have to say. It's been going pretty smooth. Just normal stuff. And like I said, this is the last hay field, so yay, we can celebrate. Okay, I want to explain the work that we're doing at this hour, at this time. And my neighbor is Eugenia. Her husband, Miguel, he died and left Eugenia in charge of all these different lands that she owns. So back in the day, they used to grow all kinds of grapes. And they still have the olive groves. They've since cut the grapes, and now the grapes are hay fields, and we rent the hay fields and for our own hay because we have customers for our hay. We don't have animals though. And anyway, she has these different, I would say 3 or 4, maybe even 5 plots of land that she has her olive groves on. And now she lives up north with her son, and she wants everything, of course, kept up. So she had her cousin, and I don't know him, and he's from another town, and he came and trimmed the olives, and they left I want to say the Italian word for Oscar, branches. They left the branches, on the ground. So we come with our equipment, and we're cleaning them up and chopping them up into a fine mulch. And they had left the wood up against the tree. I guess they're going to come and get their wood. They cut it, so it's their wood. And that's what we're doing right now. So I'm going to just take a walk around her land and take a few videos. Okay. Here's some of the wood they piled up, and it makes the work easier when they pile them up against the trees. Sorry, I just climbed a hill. A little bit out of breath. So Giovanni can just come along with his trencher, and the wood will not be in the way like that. Up above Giovanni there is Rocadospide. That's a medieval town. And we live at the foothills of 3 medieval towns. And that's one of them. Okay, here's the view from the top of Eugenia's land. the mountain. Here's an old house in the corner of the land. I'm not sure if it's Eugenia's or not, but it's at the very top of the land. Right here is where they used to tie up their donkeys. A little round hook there. Makes you wonder what life was like way back in the day when someone lived here. There's some even old-fashioned roses growing. Little pink roses. Although they've passed mostly. How pretty. Seems to me it's been fixed before a while back. And now they got the little succulents growing on the roof. Okay, this is the front view of the little old house, mostly fallen in. Seems like somebody comes up here quite a bit. This is not Eugenia's land. It's right on the border. I'm sure they won't mind me taking some videos. Look at the old stonework they used to do back in the day. I'm sure probably peasants used to live here, working their grapes, kind of like how we do. We're the new peasants. Very old. I'd like to know when it was built, just out of curiosity. A little table and benches they made out of some of the slabs. I guess they had found on the land. Maybe they had their lunch here. It's almost like a hobbit. Like the doors are so low, and like maybe there were little people back in the day, kind of like hobbits. I don't know. I know my mother and father-in-law are old, and they are very short. Okay, let's go down the road and see what we can find. Okay, so we have Giovanni on the other side of this little house, and it seems to me it's been divided into two, because there's a huge wall in the middle. Okay, and then there's that little road there that goes all the way down to the main road. And I just noticed, well, I've always known there was a road here, but I noticed another structure here. So these were neighbors, I guess, back in the day. So let's go take a look. You see, you never know what you'll run into or what you'll find in the mountains of Italy. This is very old too. Let's go look around the side. Oh, somebody takes care of this. This is somebody's little place. Not to live, I guess, to come during the day when they come in. There's a vineyard over that way underneath. So maybe they work the vineyard and they come and store a few things here, and I imagine Giovanni probably knows exactly who it is. They have fruit trees over that way. So I'm not going to stay here very long. I don't want to intrude on people. And they're not here right now, so. But look at the old stonework. These rocks for sure came out of this land back in the day. Boy, if you like old things, you would definitely like Italy. They fixed it a little bit to store things. And this is where the little road ends, right here. It gets smaller, the little road. It's not kept up though. And then there's another little house right over there, but we can't go over there. It's all private. And they've got it chained off and ripped off, so I think I've been trespassed enough. And here you can still see Castle Civita on the top of the mountain over there. A nice view up here. Well, let's head on back down. Let's go down the ancient little road. These are the last of the poppies. I don't see any more poppies anywhere, so that's the last ones I see. This is also a nice view from the land. Great plants as far as you can see. A lot of times, jobs like this, Giovanni will go around eat the tree and do the more tedious type of work like right here. And then Pasquale will come along and do the middles. And that way it'll just make the work faster and easier. But Pasquale is off with somebody with the branch attachment in front of the tractor. And they needed some branches picked up with that. So Pasquale is off doing that right now. Okay, with the trencha attachment, now this was a smaller trencha, which will chop up fine branches, yes. And the pricker bushes that try to always come up, it'll chop those up really nice, and weeds. So, example, these are some fine branches when they had trimmed the olive trees. And then it chops it all up into a mulch, which is also, it keeps the ground cool underneath the olive trees and tries to help with some of the moisture, but really it just keeps the ground cool around the roots. And mulch is always good for anything really that you're trying to grow. It adds to the soil too. I kind of laugh when I see videos online of raised beds. Here's the Italian style raised beds. This is Zio Luigi. His land. Some old olive crate. An old huge vase. He's got beans growing here. And some old barrels. These are the raised beds of Italy. There's prezzemolo, which is parsley. Looks like he's got some kind of broccoli growing there. An old bathtub or something. And some strawberries. And basil. Here we are on a different land, and to explain what's going on here, our friend Cosimo, which it has a gift of grafting Most anything he grafts will take. So we had him graft a whole bunch of these unproductive olive trees and to graft on some productive branches. And here's a close-up of what he does. And it makes the olive trees more productive. Also, it makes them later on, it makes them easier to trim and keep up with. The thing about grafting is it leaves a lot of firewood. So we chop up the big branches and we haul it off for wintertime to keep warm with. Okay, have a good week, everybody, and we'll see you next week on our adventures in rural Italy.